Hi, my name's Alex Arnout, and we're in Hackney Wick in my studio, and I'm going to show you how to do a bit of a classic track with analog gear. So let's see how we get on. So I've set the drum machine to do 16, so it's like 4 bars instead of the normal 1 bar. So there's parts 1 and 2, so you can vary your patterns and things that way. So I'm just programming them. That's why you have gaps. This is the first part, and then where the gap is, I've got to program the beats for the second part, which means I can just vary the beats, so it's not just a 1 bar loop kind of thing. And do little extra bits. Okay. Let's get a drum. Let's turn the tempo of this. It's 1, 2, I just moved it up to 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's have some snares, favourite. So I'm using the clap from the 909. It's been 808 centric so far, so I'm going to use a little bit from the 707. Maybe use a clap from there as well. Some bongos from the 727, congas. And what I've done, I've already set up the 808 talking to the Jupiter 8 to get a bass line without playing stuff. I've played stuff for years, so you kind of run out of ideas sometimes. You can actually get the drum machine talking to the Sims and get something out of there. It's a pretty flat swing at the minute, so I'm going to add a few more bits, and then I'm going to swing the drum machine so you can hear the difference. Let's have a rim shot out of here. Okay, so I've got everything synced through the new Expert Sleeper stuff, so I can control the swings of all the drum machines. I mean, bit more of a swing on things. Things are a bit looser. It's not as rigid and soulless. Let's get some hats in there now, some more hats. We're going to put a little drum roll in for later to use as of when. Snare drum. So you could have moments like this and then drop it out and kind of making a section there. Okay, we're going to go over to the Jupiter. I've got a pattern already set, which is being triggered. It's triggered by the cowbell on the 808. So normal cowbell pattern, but we've synced it up to the Jupiter, so onto a bass. So yeah, so now we've got a kind of, well, not a kind, we've got a bass line. Okay, so the way we get the bass is it comes out from the cowbell on the 808 and comes into the arpeggiated trigger in the back of the Jupiter 8. Now, all I have to do is just give it a key, which would be a bit of a C like that. And then I would hold it and take it out of solo because it's grumbling a bit. And you can add notes, whether you want to come up and down on the keyboard. I can bring that a little bit higher. I can have random notes, so you get a mix of the whole keyboard, or you can just keep them on a kind of level down there. And you can just add notes. It's on arpeggio mode, so it's triggering these notes, but the pattern is coming off there. I programmed the pattern on the cowbell. I'm going to keep this pattern though. I'm not going to mess around with it. I like it. So yeah, so you just program the pattern on the cowbell. As I say, it's just the cowbell pattern. If I bring it up, it's just that pattern playing. But I've given it 3 notes, a C, an E, and a G, which is just a standard C chord. So, but you know, I could be in F, I could be in G, we're just doing it in C for this. So from here, there's still nothing being recorded down, everything's synced up, we've got a swing. Also, the swing from here is swinging the bass on the 808, so everything feels, and you know, back in the day, this is how they worked. You know, you would kind of layer that pattern, you know, take the keyboard higher, try and get a bit of a string sound and get another layered pattern on top of that. But for now, we're just doing the bass line. So from here, still nothing is down there, the screen's empty. You know, I've got the Jupiter here on the desk, and it's coming through my DAT. I use my DAT as a through, so it comes out of the desk into the DAT, just press record, and I'll have a digital out going into the sound card, so the DAT is acting as a through, so whatever I do in the studio, it comes through the desk first and then gets recorded into the computer, so you get a bit of a, for me, you get a bit of a fat sound. My kicks, I can EQ on here. There's not much you can do to your kicks on your drum machines, maybe a bit of tuning here and there, but if you really want a fat one, let me get a kick on the 909 first. Okay, so I've just soloed the 909 just to give you a kick example. I mean, this is a kick that I use all the time, but this is with my EQ on it. That's the kick without the EQ. But I don't really like to take the sounds of the drum machines and have them as they are, because they've been used so many times. You kind of, by doing this, you kind of make it your own a little bit, you know. So I just put a bit of EQ, make it a little bit fatter, maybe take some highs out of it. I mean, this is a bit extreme, but, you know, driving your sounds as you go in as well is quite nice, because you get a slight distortion, which is just another way of making music. So that's my EQ'd kick, and that's the original kick. Okay. See, there's a bit more wallop on it. So that was just an example of that. So now what we're going to do, I'm just going to have a little play with the bass line, see what I can get out of it, and then record it through. Finally use the computer to record something down. So the bass line is here, it's cool. I'm just going to have a little play around with it. Cool. Okay, so now I know I can have a little play around with it. So bring the record level down. I'm going to be running this in mono, even though it's a stereo signal. I find that running your bass kicks, all my drums are in mono all the time, and the bass lines are as well, because you don't want things in stereo. You've got a separation of sound. It's like, you know, like a stereo kick is like, it needs to be in the middle, but with stereo kicks it's kind of half coming out of one speaker and half coming out, and the same with bass lines, and you get this kind of muddy area. So it's always best to record your drums and your bass lines in mono, and then if you want to do stereo from there on pads, then that's down to you. So yes, I'm going to be recording this in mono. I'm running it through into my sound card, so I just set up the record channel, which is here. You can see the signal is coming through. So that's a nice start. You want a bass line to kind of come in like that. So give it a couple of seconds, record it through. And you see the bass line is recording in. You know what? I'm going to do that again because it was recording the ride in as well. That happens. Make sure that's the only thing going through again. Yep. So now I can play around with it. You can see the different variations. I tend to do this for like a good 5-6 minutes really, and that's kind of the track. If you've got something there that keeps on moving, the ear doesn't really get that bored, and you're creating sections. create sections like that, you know, and really I do keep this going for like 7 minutes. It's like, it's a sinking, lazy way of arranging a track, I guess. Like, by the time I load that in, I've got all these different sections. Not everything might work, but at least I can cut it up and replace sections, repeat sections, and that's really how I like to work. So there we are, we've got that part. Obviously, you know, you can change the keys, you can add keys, you can change the pattern slightly. It's all down to you. Okay, so now we have the loop. I've muted the Jupiter on the desk. Obviously, the pattern will still go through. But yeah, you know, we just got it down like that. But you know, you can add extra notes. You can just do more. I can show you what Ableton can do as well, because obviously this is, you know, this is all down live. I would love to have that pattern on a MIDI file. Not that it's always reliable, but with Ableton you can take an audio file and turn that into a MIDI file. So then you have the notes to what's just been played, which is great. But as I say, it doesn't always work. Sometimes it gets the full amount of notes, and sometimes there's about 4 or 5 missing. You have to try and work it out, but that's great as well. So. What I can do with this now is just show you a bit of layering, actually, with the 808 and the Jupiter again. So if we run what we've just recorded, and the drums aren't in yet, it's just all synced nice and tight with a swing. Again, like, the computer for me is secondary. As you can see, most people have their computer in between their speakers, and you know, everything comes this way. But sound, really, if like you're talking about speakers in different sizes, I see really big speakers in small places, and they're just too big because the sound is going over everybody's head, it's hitting the back wall, and you're not really getting a true sound. So because the studio is set up like this, everything can just play. It's you know, it's a record already. This is the area where I hear things, and this is where I work at the end, and you know, I can hear the sound. And I think that's a big mistake everybody makes, is kind of sit in front of your speakers like this and everything goes behind you, so you can't. A 909 kick from here will sound rubbish compared to a 909 kick from here. That's the true sound. So yeah, so let's carry on with this. So we take the same pattern coming from there, and I'm gonna go through a few other sounds, go a bit higher up in the keyboard because I want to layer on top of that bass. That's bass sound coming out from there. So let's see what we've got on the Jupiter. Let me just change to a random sound, see what that does. Okay, that's a crazy one. So it's the same pattern as the bass, but I'm playing it a little bit further up the keyboard. You can try and find a better sound. So you can hear the squelch of the bass. And now I've actually just come back to the bass but played it at a higher range. So you've got this. Bit too high. And there you go, like you can layer it. I can modulate this again, so this comes on later on in the track. So again, set up a record channel. It's coming through my desk. I can add more keys as well, make it a little bit. And that's with the bass line muted as well at the minute, just so I can hear what's going on. So we can bring the bass back in. Maybe cut a bit of low end from the new sound. Maybe a bit of chorus, just to add a bit of flavour. So it's a slightly different sound. I've cut a lot of low out of it, so it comes through, it doesn't get caught up in the bass that we've already got. Some crazy things going on there. So yeah, so, you know, we've kind of got a track. You can see that's playing. So you've got different kind of sections. It works on its own without the bass. So, you know, we've still only just recorded a bass and a top line really. The drums are still, you know, so, you know, I can have these kind of moments. Try out the track as a yeah. Okay, so we've got our top line, we've got our bass line, the drums are running freely. I'm just going to leave them like that for a little bit and just maybe run a chord in or something just to go over the top. So let's just try that. I'm just going to work it out first, then either I record it in live or I record it in MIDI and mess around with the notes, but I'm just going to do a simple chord. Okay, I've worked it out. I'm just gonna record it in. So I'm gonna do this in stereo as well. Okay, so I'm coming out one side. Okay, I'm gonna do it in mono. Do it in mono. so basic chords. I'm just going to cut a bit off the bass, just so the kick's got room to come through. And then we have our chord. From there, it's in audio now, so you can literally, if that's on the chord, is it? Yeah. Have it underlined for a little while until it's time. Again, it's just one part. You're modulating it, it's in a low filter. You can create sections by bringing that up. And bringing that down again. Okay, so I guess we have the basis of a track here. So normally, I've just reset up the studio, so normally I've got 8 ins and outs coming out of the sound card, so I can record 8 drum machines, eight drum machine parts at the same time, like a kick, a clap. But yeah, it's going to be a bit long because I've got to do them individually, but it's cool. They're all synced, they're all in time, they've all got the swing, they all keep the swing. So, you know, it's a little 5 minutes of messing around, but at least, you know, the tracks are there and we can make a move on it. So yeah, here we go. So I'll just isolate what I'm using the most really. I've got my little snare roll on standby. So I'm mainly using the 808, the 909 and the 707. And some bongos off of the 727. So, yeah. So I can see what I'm using from the 808. I've singled the 808 out. This is all coming through mono. I like to have it that way. As I say, I don't really like stereo drums. So we have, let's take some volumes down. Rim shot, hand clap, cymbals. So just leave myself a kick. Again, it's all coming through the desk. I can EQ that if I want, make it fatter. 808. You can see I've got a kick signal there. This is going in mono, and there's the kick. Again, I can turn it up, it's a bit low. Let's give it a big signal on the record level. Oh, it's gone into the red. Reset the margin. And I have my kick. Okay, let me make sure it's all in time as well, because sometimes they don't start, when you stop them, they don't all start exactly together. So, see there's a slight delay there. And it sounds a bit emptier because I've muted most of the drums on the 808, so it sounds a little bit duller, but it's just while I record things in. Okay, so that's the kick. Turned it up again too much. And I've got the drum machines over 16, so this is why I'm stopping and starting. Normally I'll just record them in, but because it's the 808 is over 4 bars, I just have to make sure I'm starting at the start, or else all the drums will be out of sync. Whilst also making sure that all the drum machines are in time as well, so this is a bit annoying. But I'll just wait, that's 2 bars. I know that the 808 starts again on the next bar, the one after me. And I haven't really done much of this, but I have it over 4 bars, so you can have variations in the drums. You can see there's an extra kick there, there you see. So I've got my kick. There, so I can mute the kick, bring up my snare. Set my kick off. Set my snare, and so on and so on. As I say, it's much easier if you have 8 ins and outs and you can record 8 tracks down at the same time, but just for this purpose. So now I have the kick and the clap, and so on. I'm working on the rim now. Actually, the rim is it's taking advantage of this 4-bar loop on the 808. I kind of programmed completely different ones just to show off. You can see there, you know, that's the advantage of having it over a 4-bar loop, especially for bass lines. If you want to program bass lines, you know, you want it to kind of, rather than just capture 1 bar, you know. So that's it. So. The 808. Right, okay, so now I'm going to get the, what am I using from here? Okay, I've got the clap. Where's the clap gone? So I'm now taking the signal from the 909. Again, all this is just being recorded in mono. there's a hat going in from the 909, so I can play around with. And this is what I mean just by playing with everything you've got. A hat can be quite straight and boring, but you know, add a bit of decay and choice moments and keep that in a loop, and it just feels like the track is doing something to the ear, you know? You know, don't be scared of doing stuff as it's going in, really. I mean, that's how I get all my, if I've got a sound and I'm running it in, I'd let it run as the sound that I've liked and chosen for a couple of bars, and then just go and attack it. You might not get anything, and then you might get, you know, something incredible. Like, I mean, this is because I work on the fly, so I don't really sit there and work things out. So I'll play something, I like it, I'll record it, and at that point I'll think, well, I've got it, let's try something. So it's nothing planned. So as I say, sometimes you get a whole load of nonsense, but sometimes even a mistake might sound great. You know, my synths trip out every so often, the MIDI messages get stuck, and it's playing a MIDI part and it just trips out. And some of the best sounds I've had in my tracks are from mistakes. Like when that happens, I'll run it through the desk and through my thing and record the mistake in, and 9 times out of 10, I would have never been able to play that or achieve that myself. So, like you can use MIDI blocks, like MIDI messages, mistakes, or the synths really freaking out is really good because it'll go into like play mode, but not quite right. So you're getting these alien sounds. So yeah, like everything's worth recording or messing around with. Let's try this hat now that we've got. Hear the decay on the hat coming in there. You know, the track's moving, there's all the swings there. So we've got another clap here on the 707. Oh, hang on. Seeing as we're on the 909 still, I'm just going to get this riding. Making sure everything's going all right. Okay, that's all we've got time for now. If you want to see the full video of how we do things here, buy the latest issue of Computer Music, and it's all in there. Thank you.